The rod of Asclepius has been the exoteric symbol for medical healing since as far back as 1400 to 1200 BC. He was the son of Apollo, the god of healing, immortalized forever in the stars as Ophiuchus, the serpent holder, standing on the male genital phallus and corpuscle destroyer Scorpio. It is the staff with the single snake, completely misunderstood exoterically to be a symbol of the snake's possession of anti-venom against its own poisons and its ability to shed its skin and renew, an exoteric symbol of longevity and immortality. But in 1902, a captain in the U.S. Army Medical Corps mistook the caduceus for the rod of Asclepius, and he proposed the adoption of the caduceus as the Medical Corps' official symbol. The two-snake caduceus is the symbol of the Roman god Mercury, whereas the one-snake rod is the symbol of Asclepius. Natural healing. Before 1902, the caduceus was used as a symbol for commerce and companies in printing, as Mercury or Hermes was the messenger of the gods. It was used in mining, chemistry, and metallurgy, as alchemy was a hermetic science. Exoterically, Mercury is the god of commerce, trade, merchants, outlaws, thieves, and tricksters, and is represented by two serpents to show the opposing meanings of polarization. One snake is the healing, remediating, and curative, the upward flow of living corpuscles from the spleen to the cerebrum crown chakra, supporting positive energy, inner development, and enlightenment. The other serpent is the poisonous, debilitating, drainage of the living corpuscles away from the higher self, body, and mind. It is this second serpent that has infiltrated medicine. It has convinced us that paying for poison is the cure for cellular poisoning. It is no accident that this symbol was first adopted by the Army. The bogus germ theory driving allopathic medicine states that microorganisms invade our bodies and require military defense. This model of disease, the warfare model, where illness comes from an uncontrollable enemy outside of us, necessitates a drug from the medical machine as our only chance of survival. We fight this imagined enemy with chemical weapons and machines, just as any warfare. Allopathic medicine blames these enemy diseases on bad genes or evil germs, mysterious and deadly cancers, unexplained autoimmune and neurodegenerative diseases, and many more, always outside of our control, with causes unknown and no ability to address or reverse ourselves. Thus, we are dependent on the medical system to rescue us. How did this happen? In 1847, the American Medical Association was founded, the largest association of medical students and physicians, both doctors of medicine and doctors of osteopathy, which is a type of alternative medicine, much of which is now said to have no therapeutic value and is labeled pseudoscience by the medical cartel. Then, in 1901, the AMA started a committee on national legislation, starting the trend of non-elected NGOs directing elected lawmakers' policy decisions. In 1905, they created the Council on Pharmacy and Chemistry to set standards for drug manufacturing and advertising, asking drug companies to show proof of effectiveness of their drugs or pay corrupt bribes to Doc Simmons, in order to advertise those drugs in the Journal of the American Medical Association. They basically became the first drug catalog sales reps. Obviously, drug manufacturers had great incentive to get in good favors with Doc Simmons and the AMA, later known as the Big Pharma revolving door. But the real horror started in 1904, when the AMA founded the Council on Medical Education to regulate medical schools and what type of medicine could be taught in them, as osteopathic and homeopathic medicine had no commercial profit incentive to these snakes. They had to go. From its earliest inception, the American Medical Association has had one principal objective: attaining and defending a total monopoly of the practice of medicine in the United States. From its outset, the AMA made the unholy trinity of allopathy the basis of its practice. Allopathy set up an intense rivalry with the prevalent 19th century school of medicine, the practice of homeopathy. The AMA is one of the biggest frauds in history, involved in medical bribery, racketeering, corruption, coercion, and deception. The former quack heads of the organization, like the failed journalist Doc Simmons, who never attended a medical school or worked for an actual hospital, and his protege, Dr. Morris Fishbein, an aspiring circus trapeze artist and part-time opera singer, who never worked a day as a physician in his life, but somehow headed the American Medical Association, were to set the standard for the disgraceful fraud still going on to this day. You can find the shocking details of this in the first 2 chapters of the book, Murder by Injection. Murder by Injection.